this now. What's going on, good people? It's DJ Danny Ocean in the building. Appreciate y'all tuning in. 3NT Wrestling is finally back on your screens. I know I don't do this show alone, though. I got my broski with me, Malik. What's good, buddy?
What's good? 3NT Wrestling in the building. Y'all already know what it is. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, Sirski. We got a special guest coming from Dirt Sheet Radio with us today, too, man. Introduce yourself to the people, brother.
Hey yo, Ruben R. Rubens here, and I am so excited to talk about wrestling right now because it feels like everything is just firing on all cylinders and there's so much good stuff happening. I
Right.
don't know how long this podcast is going to be, but I have cleared out my appointments for the rest of the afternoon into the evening because there is literally so much to talk about.
It's definitely a lot to talk about. Now, we ain't gonna keep y'all too long today, man. I got a lot going on. I gotta do some interviews for Big Shot, my man None, J Rome, Hunger Games, Battle Rap League out here in North Carolina next week. I gotta interview a couple artists a little bit later to put on my show throughout the week on Kiss. But like I said, we hadn't done a show in a while. It's 316 day. So it's a celebration today. But you know what? Let's we gotta celebrate the right way, boys. We gotta celebrate 316 day the right way.
Oh
So
man,
we gotta
I
give it
brought
up.
two water bottles. I did it wrong. Oh man.
That's what I'm talking about. So
Cheers.
this man drinking this sparkling cider over there.
I'm drinking water and you know that. Don't do that. Don't lie on my name. We had this talk.
But nah, real quick, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, share it. Let us know you in here. Tell us where you from. If this your first time watching 3NT, stick around. We kind of dope. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. We get to do some dope stuff over here. Um, but like I said, we haven't been live since before the Elimination Chamber, right?
hmm hmm
We didn't get to talk about one major thing that happened. I didn't even get to tell y'all. I was a secret agent in that whole situation. I was there. This really happened. Haters will say it's Photoshop though.
It's
Haters
Photoshop.
what? Oh, so you a hater? You an
Yeah.
admitted hater?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was
Yeah.
there. It was me and Trav. I call him Trav. Y'all call him Travis Scott. Me and Trav was hanging out. It was like, hey, let me get in that picture, cuz. And they said, cool. So yeah, I
Uh,
masterminded this whole shit. Y'all know
so
that
you
anyway.
so you so you officially crop
Yeah.
Shrav out of the picture
Hey,
though.
hey, you see what's
Yeah.
going over here?
Mother F the big three is just big you, huh?
Uh,
Okay. Okay. All right. I see. Okay.
oh man. But yeah, Elimination Chamber was history, bro. Like that was like one of the biggest moments in the last 20 years, 20, 30 years of wrestling. We've
hmm
had some amazing stuff. We had the Seth Rollins breaking up the Shield. You know what I'm saying? We had Gunther's Intercontinental title reign. We had some major moments in wrestling, but this,
The difference with those two, though, is we knew it was coming. You knew the Shield was going to break up. It was just a matter of how they were going to do it. And
mhm,
in the moment, it was just like, oh, okay, they're going to hit him with the chair from the back. That's cool. Still an absolutely massive moment, and the business changed from that point on, no doubt about it.
mhm.
Gunther's Intercontinental title reign was amazing, and everybody loved him. And yeah, you knew it was probably going to end at WrestleMania. No big deal. In this moment, I remember I was watching and I'm like, wow, Cena's going to turn on him. Why is he there? This is weird. No,
Uh,
they're not going to do it. And then I'm getting messages from friends messaging people like, they're going to do something. Something's going to happen. And then when it goes down, it's still so surprising. They do it so well. And the whole aftermath as well makes it one of the biggest moments. I think it probably is the biggest moment of at least the last 20 years. And the amount of people in the just regular pop culture and
mhm.
people on my social media and friends that do not give a hoot, to keep it PG, about wrestling are like, hey, why did John Cena turn on everybody?
And that's the reason to me why it was such a huge moment is that it broke away from just us wrestling fans and hit pop culture.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? John Cena's been a staple in pop culture for how long now? 2 decades. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
He's always been the Fruity Pebbles shirt, the nice guy, always smiling, and the face he made. Matter of fact, I think I got the picture pulled up. Well, it's kind of a collage, but who would ever expect moments like this from John Cena?
And Cody Rhodes right before as well, dropping the straight, like when he says, "Hey, Rock," I thought something super lame was coming. I thought it was going to be like really like just brutal.
Beat
And
it, pal.
instead, yeah, exactly. I say no, sir. I fully expected it to be just awful. And then when he drops the F-bomb, the
Yeah,
pop, everything about it, everything about that segment, I just want to say, I think
the
was
whole
done
moment.
perfectly because Toronto was going to boo the entrance. They muted
yeah.
the crowd up until the whoa, good call, because everything from then on was just perfection.
I will keep it
Travis
a
Scott
stack
too, like just fantastic.
because what we're not gonna forget is that I predicted all of this. By the way, I did call this. I'll be honest with you. The moment kind of felt like Spider-Man: No Way Home for me. I kind of saw a lot of stuff that was coming. I knew what was coming. So it still hit a lot of like,
Oh
when you
yeah.
see the extra guys come up, it's still a moment, but I knew it was going to happen. I really felt like it was going to happen this whole time. So I loved the moment, but I took some of it away from myself for being so good at knowing pro wrestling.
But didn't they do it in a way that you still weren't expecting it? Like the
Oh no, I
extra,
saw it. I
yeah,
knew John Cena was gonna join. Cody was gonna tell The Rock no, and Cena was gonna tell him yes. Shout out Rob Aurelius from the Resilience Podcast. I texted him. He was like, "Nah, no way, man." See, all right, talk to me tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But yeah, like you said, when Cena's sticking around in that ring, it was already, I know they're gonna get their little face off pointing to WrestleMania sign, but he was being overly Cena, jumping
yeah.
around and happy and cheering. I was like, yeah, he's about to do some shit, and he did.
But you say like the facial expression, the beat down, the blood, the way that things were done, I still didn't expect it to go down that way. So even though I also was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Cena were to turn on everybody and do it, and then I don't know where we go from there. But it was just something in the back of my mind. It still went down in a way that I was happily
Randy, what's up, brother?
surprised. I was still
Oh no, I
very
still loved
much
it.
enjoying it. Yeah, it was still
I
great.
definitely loved it. But the way John Cena attacked Cody too, the picture in the top left hand corner, um, gave me old school Nexus vibes too. You remember when the Nexus first showed up, and
Yeah,
didn't Daniel Bryan get fired for choking a guy with his tie like that?
yeah.
So
Justin Roberts.
yeah, yeah, it was that Justin Roberts, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You
but
got to leave the ring announcers alone, man.
but that was awesome. The whole moment was awesome, and I absolutely loved it. My question for y'all though, with all this, clearly Cena's going into Mania as a heel. Cody's the super face. How do you finish this match? Does Cena win? Does
No,
Cody? Well, 'cause Cena doesn't win.
no, not here. Somebody, I don't know who came up with this idea the first time I heard it, though. I was like, please do that. I love it. I want him to win Money in the Bank because then we go to
Mm,
the end of 2025 where he could literally cash in every event, every show,
mm.
anytime. He could wait until the very last show in December, whatever, the amount of stories that could come out of that. Plus, we all want to see Cena get the 17. No disrespect to
Mhm.
anyone who still loves Ric Flair, but I don't know many who are still.
Ric Flair turned into a hater over there too.
Yeah, so you look at that. I think a lot of people want to cheer when Cena does it. You don't want Cena beating Rhodes and then cheering and celebrating it. I would love to see Cena repent, saying, "You know what? All right, yeah, I did something I shouldn't have done."
Mm.
People will turn right back really quickly because he gave him the moment. He gave us this great story going into Mania, but he's only got like 9 months left. So I don't want to see a heel Cena for 8 or 9 months. Personally,
How you feel about it, Malik?
I disagree. I need heel Cena. I need heel Cena. It doesn't have to be the full 8 or 9 months. It doesn't have to be that. But I would give him the title at WrestleMania only because last show I pointed out that we can't pretend like Cody hasn't had like a 2-year reign of dominance himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cody's title reign has been amazing. It's brought the company amazing astronomical numbers. Superstars are saying that across the board. Cody Rhodes is the right champion. But if you want to keep Cody as a face is always better during the chase. Kevin Nash is 100% right at that.
Pop
If
your
they
shit.
if they want to make John Cena a super heel, Totally, he could repent. I agree that he should repent. Maybe like before SummerSlam or something like that. Cool. But in this moment, with as big as this moment is, it's the perfect time to give John Cena the belt. It's the perfect time. Like you said with pop culture. I saw a video on my timeline the other day. I forgot. I don't know where he was. I didn't check the location, but a dude is asking a Megatron robot about John Cena. The Megatron robot goes, "Cena, we can see you now." This is a major moment, and if this major some moment, if I'm looking at if I'm Triple H, I'm looking at this like, yes, Cody's bringing in money, but if we trying to stack this bread till SummerSlam, with as hot as this is, if we put that WWE Universal Championship on John Cena, our product is going through the moon.
Mind you, he got movies dropping. He got Peacemaker Season 2 coming out. Imagine him doing his press runs with that title on him. Triple H is like, he know where the money at.
And another thing, it's not like we need to see Cena on TV every week because we went through the Roman Reigns thing with that same title.
That's facts. But I'd like to see. I do like what you brought up, Ruben.
I like that. I love that idea too. Yeah.
Him losing and then be like, you know what? I gotta do this the right way. Turn back to make a wish instead of break a wish, Cena. And I do like that. But again, we've seen that Cena for 25 years, bro. I need this full 8-9 month run of evil Cena doing evil shit. Like, we saw what The Rock did when he came back as the final boss. Like, it was again a game changer for wrestling. We don't know what the hell Cena's gonna do when it comes to as being a heel. So I'm like, this dead ass like must see TV type shit right here, and I love it, bro. Like, I have no idea what to expect. This year and last year are the only two WrestleManias where I'm just like legit excited just to see what's gonna happen, because we've never seen stuff like this before. We've never seen the way The Rock came back last year as the final boss, slapping and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, man, and I do appreciate this moment in wrestling time because it's bringing old wrestling fans back in. It's bringing non-fans in. And the fact that Raw's on Netflix, AEW's on Max, wrestling is in more homes than ever now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love what we got going on right here. And I feel like The Rock and John Cena are the catalyst of this shit.
You're not wrong there. One thing to consider though is we're only 2 months and 2 weeks into a new deal with Netflix. Are they going to be thrilled about the title not being on the shows every week? And so I do wonder about that if Cena were to win. Not to mention the potential downer of the super heel winning the title in the final match of WrestleMania. That has to be the main event.
Don't forget the championship is a SmackDown title anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
sorry, I'm Canadian, so I watch everything on Netflix. Sorry.
Which I'm kind of on that.
Yeah.
I need.
It's about time we don't get screwed on the deals. Normally, Canada's the one that
is Canadian. He said it's about time.
It's about time.
Oh man, that was awesome. All right, moving on. Well, let's wrap this thing up. You got anything else on this Cena situation?
I would just say that I'm very happy that this story has caught on as much as it has. Even if Cena loses to Rhodes at Mania, which I personally think should happen, I want to see what Cena does after the fact, and I want to see maybe something like Cena, Sami Zayn, Cena, Joe Hendry, different matchups that we're not going to be able to see if Cena's the champion. And I want to see those going into a SummerSlam or into a Money in the Bank. And then we start to see the repenting or something. I'd be fine with that too. I don't think Cena needs to be the champion to have the major effect. But honestly, I think it's a win-win either way. I think they've done such a great job with setting this up that it's win-win.
I agree with that.
I agree
with that. Now, that was obviously the biggest moment at Elimination Chamber. But we're not going to sleep on that entire card because the entire card was fire. They cooked. The only match that I felt like was a slow moment was the women's tag match. Tiffany and Trish and Nia. Was it Candice?
Yeah.
Candice LeRae, yeah.
Yeah. That was like the only slow moment I felt like, but everything else was like 10 out of 10. That women's elimination chamber, first and foremost, starting off with Jade effing Cargill, bro.
Love it.
We gonna talk more about that story here in a little bit, but Jade Cargill coming out and the way she attacked Naomi, like it was, you felt the real tension. Like this was real. It felt real. You know what I mean? Um,
Shout out to Bianca too from the pod. I liked that. I like that whole view. The camera work on that entire little scene was fantastic.
they cooked it. They cooked
Mhm.
it. Roxanne Perez did her thing in that match too. I'm yeah, I was kind of critical on Roxanne. You know, but yeah,
Many were. It's not just you. Many were. A lot
You're
of
right.
people need to be apologizing. Yeah, for sure.
You're
Yeah.
right. And Vic Joseph actually called it out on NXT once. I said something about Roxanne, and he was like, "These podcasters don't know what they're talking about." So, my bad, Vic. You're right.
Mhm.
No, Roxanne is she broke a record in the Royal Rumble in February. She's in an Elimination Chamber, one of the biggest events of the year, leading into WrestleMania, and had a great showing. Where do y'all see her like leading into WrestleMania? Does she have a WrestleMania match? Does she become, a bigger name after WrestleMania? Which I think.
I think they need to be really careful with her though. Like, I don't. If the best thing for her is to still be in NXT right now, do that.
Yeah.
I would find something for her to do. Like the women's championship match with Bianca is still a little funny because that they took the title off of Rhea Ripley and put it on Io Sky. So it's a little weird. I'm not sure if that's going to be like a multi-women match at this point. Like I have no idea what they're doing with that because the Io Sky and Rhea thing, it totally threw me off.
That was crazy too, because who expected Io Sky to take that title off Bianca weeks before WrestleMania?
Nobody.
We all pretty much assumed it was Bianca Rhea. I like at Elimination Chamber, I kind of thought something was up when they kept saying Bianca or Rhea or Io.
I actually appreciated they were doing that because normally there's like the third person is just a throwaway.
Yeah.
And it's like,
when they had her come out, when Rhea came out for the face-off and then they had Io come out, that's what made me say, like, all right, they laying on this kind of heavy. You know what I mean?
Because, I mean...
I agree. Shout out to Saga in the chat on YouTube, man. Make sure y'all stream his music. He got a new project coming soon. And we featured on it, by the way. We'll talk about that another time. But, yeah, I love the element of surprise. That's the biggest thing, especially going into WrestleMania season. It's the best part of it.
Because here's the thing with Bianca, though. And this is why I think maybe there'll be a multi-woman match for that championship. Mm-hmm. Is anybody here excited for WrestleMania about Naomi versus Jade Cargill?
I'm interested in the match. I mean, it's not like S tier excitement, but I'm still looking forward to seeing.
But if you're thinking about WrestleMania though, like Bianca would be like the storyline's built around Bianca. It's not built around Naomi. So unless it's just like a swerve and it was Naomi the whole time, and maybe this just is to build up Naomi. I don't know. I don't have total faith that Bianca's going to be the one to challenge for the women's championship at WrestleMania.
I think she is, and I think we're going to get that reveal that Bianca has something to do with it too. And that's where I think they're still going to be hanging out. Like Naomi's just going to be kicking it with Bianca and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But
so no WrestleMania match for Jade Cargill then?
Jade Cargill and Naomi could easily be an undercard match. Yeah.
That match is still going to happen.
It's 2 nights.
It's going to be on WrestleMania because, again, we're invested in it. Like, this is some good... That segment they had on SmackDown, bro, where they brought tears into the situation and you ungrateful bitch and all that, you know what I mean? Incredible. And then the little subtle nuance, they both wore white at Elimination Chamber, and Jade had on black. And then on SmackDown, they both had on black, then Jade had on white. It's little things that's showing that, they're against, like, they're the ops, essentially.
Think of it this way. Let's say Jade Cargill beats Naomi night 1 of WrestleMania. Would you be upset if all of a sudden Jade Cargill comes down and goes after Bianca and takes her out of the triple threat and becomes basically Rhea and Io?
My thing is, if Bianca is going heel, I want her to have that heavyweight championship because we haven't seen that in WWE yet. We've seen it in NXT or her heel Bianca in NXT, but we haven't seen a real heel Bianca yet.
So she wins the title and then Jade gets her after. That would be awesome. I'd be pumped for that.
I don't know because This storyline is similar to the storyline in between Rikishi, Triple H, and Stone Cold.
I did it for the walk.
And
Did it for
even
the
though Rikishi was the one that did it, it was still versus him. It was him versus Stone Cold at Bad Blood. It wasn't a WrestleMania match. That's the only reason why I got paused. I agree with y'all. I will be okay with whatever because I'm invested. I just think there's something bigger at play.
Because there's 2 nights of WrestleMania, that's the only reason why I think it's a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
I do agree
The
with you. If
reason
it
I
was one
say
night, yeah.
it would be a WrestleMania match too, is because Jade is a superstar. She's not gonna have a WrestleMania match. And Naomi, again, this story, people are invested in this story now. So it's no way, like this is at this point with the storyline they have, this is a Mania caliber blow off. You get what I'm saying?
It should be, yeah. It should be. But
I'll be
based
pissed
on
if this happens to SmackDown before WrestleMania, to be honest with you.
yeah, and based on history, we know that wrestling promotions have not necessarily given the women a bunch of matches. So I do like the thought of that changing and saying, you know what, this story is worthy enough. Like Triple H says it's whatever's worthy of the match. I think this is. It should get a match, right?
Definitely.
Based on his exact wording at the end of the press conference of Elimination Chamber, he said he's not going to guarantee a women's main event just because it has to be worthy. Well, this is worthy of a match on the card.
I agree with that for sure. Another match. Honestly, my favorite match on this Elimination Chamber card, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, man. That unsanctioned match. It's just a different level of violence that we used to in WWE. You know what I'm saying? They said that they chose to use real barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why are you surprised? You know their history, right?
Because
I
it's
mean, I get
WWE.
it, but they rich. Like,
If you,
don't do
if
that
you
to
look at the
yourself. You got
context of the
kids, gang.
situation, right? They got kids. If you look at the context of this, like I was actually a little bit let down based on what I had seen over the last couple of decades. But when you look at it under the WWE lens,
Mm-hmm.
okay. When you look at it like that, it's incredible and
Mm-hmm.
lived up. But I was a silly goose and expected that they would do like a lot of the indie stuff, and that's just not.
Mhm.
That's my fault for having expectations that make no sense. That's like going into the Rumble and being like, "Yeah, I can't wait until Joe Hendry comes in and wins the Rumble." It's like, come on,
Unrealistic expectations.
it's not realistic.
But you just brought up something that, we're not used to seeing real barbed wire stuff like that in WWE. It just made me think about it. Yeah, I think that's because we see it in AEW every PLE, every pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Do you think it's WWE saying we can do that too? Do you think they're watching that and saying we need to compete with that?
They don't need to, but they can just show, hey, we have something for everybody on our cards. We've always said that. You don't have to watch AEW to watch the crazy unsanctioned stuff. However, when you see a pile driver in our promotion, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a different taste of what you like in your wrestling. Like you see a tombstone on a chair in AEW, doesn't end the match. You see it in WWE, the guy might be gone for a couple of weeks now. There's been a precedent set, and I do like them both being different in that way.
That's an incredible point, actually. That was freaking awesome, bro. Yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. It's like they protect these moves and protect this heavy hitting stuff, and yeah, that's why I feel like the stories are better over there. You know what I mean? There are a few stories in AEW that I really do rock with. The Swerve and Ricochet story and whatnot, incredible.
Tony Mariah.
Oh yeah, Tony
unprecedented.
Mariah, some of the best shit on TV.
But if you're going top down everything, like somebody said in the chat here earlier, it reminds them of the Attitude Era because titles would change on weekly shows. I am more invested in the mid to lower card stuff on WWE than I am in AEW, and I am an AEW guy. WWE has done a great job recently of making me care about their SmackDown Tag Team division, to care about their multiple. Like we're arguing about a women's match that's not for a title, saying it needs to be a WrestleMania match. How often have we said that in the last 25 years?
Right.
So they've done a great job with their stories, and WWE has always been about the stories. So we can argue all day long about who's got the better product or whatever, but I really enjoy the stories that WWE is putting out, and everybody involved should be proud of what they've done. It's been really good.
I'll be completely honest because I was one of the ones that's like, just AEW isn't as good as WWE. Hey, it's just not as good. It's not as good. But I had to separate it. WWE is for stories. AEW is for insane wrestling.
In
So
ring, you cannot
once
tell me that Revolution was worse than Elimination Chamber, and Elimination
oh
Chamber
no,
was incredible.
but then once I started separating the two and understanding what it was, I started enjoying AEW so much more. And
Yeah.
that's why I hate that tribalism shit in the internet wrestling community and all that. Like, it's okay to just enjoy wrestling. You know what I mean?
Both were awesome shows. I watched both shows start to finish and loved both. I thought they were
Fitz,
great.
what's good, brother? JDF Media, y'all make sure y'all tune in. What's up, Fitz? Appreciate the shout out, man.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, brother. So what did y'all think as far as that Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match? We saw Randy Orton come back, and it looks like they're protecting the punt, or they're bringing that punt back, and it's going to do something to put Kevin Owens out till WrestleMania or something if you finally catch him. We saw him try to hit Melo with it the other day. Like, Randy Orton is back to wilding again, and I love it. Because I'm tripping and I'm loving it.
I like that people online are really trying to defend him, saying every time he comes back, he gets overshadowed by something. The first time it was Punk, and then this time it was Cena, and it's like there could be multiple surprises on a show.
Randy Orton is still gonna be Randy Orton. The hood love Randy. That's not going anywhere. If Randy come out, he gonna get a pop. They gonna sing his music. They gonna cheer him on. They gonna wait for that RKO, and they gonna pop for it every time. You know what I mean? So it's a situation, in my opinion. If it don't matter who come back, if see again, CM Punk came back the same night he did. John Cena came back around the same time he did, but he's still him.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Because Randy's actually the guy you're gonna see on a week-to-week basis. Randy's really there. Like, it's not Randy's here this week. He might not show up for 3 weeks. No. Randy's there full time every week. So,
and he gets it. Always quality stuff from Randy Orton.
110%.
Even when they throw him in BS,
makes everything work. Yeah.
And they give him. I like the fact that he has having matches with people like Javon Evans. You know what I mean? Giving the up and coming talent their shots and their good looks and whatnot. Because Javon Evans is 20 years old, bro. Randy Orton was wrestling before he was born. You know what I mean? We've been watching it for years. He literally grew up from a child watching it. And imagine that feeling of being in a ring with him.
And then you could see Randy coaching them and giving them advice while they're in the ring with him. Like, he's like really doing it like in real time. Randy's a great OG for the WWE to have.
Facts. That's what I said.
I didn't realize he was that young. He's 21 at the end of April. That's insane.
Oh yeah, he was in when he debuted in NXT. He was only 19.
Unreal.
Yep, shout out Greensboro. Shout out to the 336, by the way. He's from North Carolina. He used to wrestle heavy in DPW out here in Carolina and whatnot. Somebody else from I saw in DPW a lot, Lucky Ali, who's Shaquan Sugars in NXT now. Watch out for him. He's going to be a star. He's in that group now, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. But
beautiful.
The main event, the men's Elimination Chamber match, we just touch on that real quick, some of the major moments or whatever. That's what officially set off this Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre feud. Let me ask y'all just straight up, do y'all care?
It is picking up steam. Let me not be totally against it. Drew... We got to start kind of giving Drew McIntyre his flowers a little bit when it comes to vignettes and promos and things like that, because Drew is doing an amazing job of making me care. Like, I went into SmackDown seeing this, and I'm still like, I don't. But seeing what Drew McIntyre is saying, the way he pieced everything together, like, really the person he kind of should have a problem with is Damian Priest, because Damian Priest is the one who cashed in on him at WrestleMania at the end of the day. Like Punk attributed to it, but Damian Priest is the guy that cashed in on him. And Clash at the Castle, Damian Priest is the guy that beat him. And Damian Priest is having like help to do this. It's not like Damian Priest is just watching Drew McIntyre. That's not happening. Right. So the fact that Damian Priest has now become the thorn in Drew McIntyre's side.
Okay.
It's like, okay, like now I kind of understand where this friction is coming from, because you just eliminating Drew at the Royal Rumble wasn't it for me. I was just like, I don't care about that. But Drew's doing an amazing job, and right now they're doing an amazing job building the storyline for
Right.
WrestleMania around this feud. I'm with it.
Big shout to R3J204 in the chat. He said he was there in Toronto live. Man, I really wish I could have been there because, for one, that crowd was loud as hell.
Yep.
Like, with good reason, because it was a good event. You know what I mean? So y'all definitely got a treat out there in Toronto. Jeannie, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in.
What's good, Jeannie?
But yeah, that promo from SmackDown did piece a lot of stuff together, like you said, and it did pique my interest. But at first, it's like I like the rivalries that feel natural. This felt forced. You get what I'm saying? With the botched elimination at the Rumble, he did get the pin on him at Elimination Chamber, but it felt forced since they botched the Rumble thing. You know what I mean? And then the Damian Priest came out, beat down on SmackDown. It's like, all right, you're trying a little too hard. But the way Damian McIntyre, just blend them together. Drew McIntyre, that promo, though, like you said, the way he pieced it together, it made it mean something. You get what I'm saying?
You look at most Royal Rumbles, I used to always see people, good or bad, they would say, oh yeah, I love the Royal Rumble because so many different stories can come from it. But often I felt like those feuds were forced, but that's okay. Sometimes it can be fine, but it's the real cream of the crop that take those forced feuds and make them special. And Drew McIntyre, in the last at least year and a half that I've been paying attention, has done a better job than almost everyone else on the roster. And that's not saying that everyone else is not as good. It's just that they're good. Drew McIntyre has been incredible. I want to say elite, but it feels like I'm shilling for the other company. Drew McIntyre is doing phenomenal things, and I loved everything in that men's elimination chamber match from the start to the finish because I love the fact that, okay, Damian Priest pins him, great. McIntyre does his thing. Okay, I'm starting to care already, and now you throw the promo on top? I'm in. Yeah. I do care about that match. It's just not S tier, but there's no way it can be with everything else it has to compete with.
Right,
but it will be
right
a very serviceable mid to lower card WrestleMania match.
My thing is, like, because, again, coming out of that Royal Rumble situation, we had that little smoke between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. They're talking shit to each other on Twitter. Some guy wants to get his moves off. You know what I mean? LA Knight rebuttaling it the following week on SmackDown. That was natural to me, and that felt like it had heat to it, had a story to it already. But and now LA Knight now is the United States champion. We got to talk about Shinsuke in a minute too, but LA Knight's the U.S. champion. I feel like Drew should be at least fighting for a title.
Not the U.S. title. He's above it. In my opinion, he's above it. With how good Drew has been, he should be world title contender.
But we're not going to see. He should be, but we're not going to see him beat Cody or Cena anytime soon. That's unrealistic. We're not going to see him go back to Raw, and I would love to see him versus Gunther, but we're not going to see.
When's the next draft?
Next year, because this one the superstar window, trade window, whatever, just closed. What, last month or 2 months ago?
I mean, even if he doesn't necessarily have to win the title, though. He just needs to be in a top story all the time. And a U.S. title feud with LA Knight, I mean, it would be good, probably. Like, I think both would make it really good, but it's not going to be at the top of the card. I would love to see Drew McIntyre work with the people at the top of the card. I think Damian Priest is up there. I don't think LA Knight is yet, so I like this better without the title, personally.
So, right now, what is there for LA Knight to do at WrestleMania? I would like a triple threat match for the U.S. title.
LA, Drew, and Damian?
And Damian Priest could walk out with the U.S. title. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I mean, it would at least make the title more prestigious, but the story dwarfs the title, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
In the future, like after WrestleMania, after whatever happens with Drew and Damian, I would love to see them revisit this stuff with LA Knight and Drew. And I think that Drew can actually elevate LA to where maybe by SummerSlam, he matters even more. Because people want to see LA Knight get pushed, but he's just not at the like he's getting the crowd reaction, sort of like how Jey Uso did. But he needs something massive to get him there, and
Yeah.
I don't think the U.S. title is that.
He deserves gold for sure. Like
L.A. or Drew?
both of them, really. But
Yeah,
LA
okay.
Knight is he started his own movement just like Jey Uso. It's nowhere near as big as the Yeet situation, but he started his own movement. He's doing his thing. I feel like they waited a little too late to put gold on him, maybe because he did cool
Nah.
down a little bit.
I
Well-
agree. I was about to say I think he's cooling down. Like I even though he got an amazing pop in Spain has been waiting for a wrestling event
Oh my
forever.
God, that crowd.
They were going crazy for pretty much everything. So I don't want to put it towards that. But week to week, I'm not saying they tuning LA Knight out, because of course, yeah, it's always going to be a thing. Like
Right.
it's catchy. But the pop is not what it used to be with him.
It's not.
So when me and Danny were on our way to New York, I actually thought it was a great idea to put the title on Drew, because if the title's going on Cena, the next top title is going to be the United States Championship if it's on SmackDown.
Mhm.
Why don't you give Drew that title and have Drew build the prestige like Gunther did with the Intercontinental
It'll be the
title?
workhorse title. Yeah.
It'll be the workhorse title, and I feel like Drew is the perfect candidate for that. That's the reason. What do you say to that, Ruben? Because that was my idea about
like
why Drew should be implemented in the title situation with LA Knight.
If the idea is to make the U.S. title prestigious and it's going to just be at the downfall of LA Knight, yeah, it is what it is. But Drew would be able to make that work. I believe you. I believe him. I think that is possible. But I want Drew McIntyre near the world title at all times. At this point, I think he's that good. If he can't be, U.S. title, making it prestigious, much like Cena did, funny enough, with the U.S. Open when he's fighting guys like Sami Zayn debuting on the main card. That would work. I would be willing to go for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's gonna make LA Knight borderline irrelevant. And yes, he is cooling off, but I do think he is one big thing away from going right back up. And it's just a matter of whether or not they have faith in him after the Rumble. I'm not convinced they do. So he has to prove himself, I think, between now and SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about another moment in that men's elimination chamber match real quick. The reason John Cena won that match, Seth Rollins stomping CM Punk onto the cage.
Loved it.
I can't get enough of this story, man, and it's crazy because it's been going on for a long time.
A long time,
Yeah.
and they are killing that. They're killing it, bro. They're killing it. I'm kind of upset. Like that cage match.
Fire! What?
The
Be
cage
careful
match
with what
was
you
in-
say.
I'm
No,
really-
the cage match was incredible. It
Yeah.
was
Okay.
incredible. What I was
Okay.
about to say is, this feud does not need Roman Reigns.
It kind of does it.
It does not
It
need
doesn't.
anything to do with Roman
It
Reigns.
depends on because the whole Paul Heyman. Before we actually move on from that, just really quickly, I want to say immediately after that stomp and Cena choking Punk and saying, "I'm sorry," I loved that.
I didn't even catch that.
It
Yeah,
was.
you didn't see him say, "I'm sorry."
Well,
I
they
was,
didn't replay it.
Oh, you
They-
was busy. You was busy. My bad. I forgot.
I was setting up equipment and trying to watch
Yeah.
on my phone at the same
But even
time.
then,
I
they
had
didn't
a DJ.
replay it. They didn't make it a big deal. It was like I was watching it live. I heard it. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Waiting for it to replay because I'm like, guys, you need to see what just happened. Oh, they're not going to show it. Oh, all right.
Oh,
but it was
man.
such a cool little extra
Mm.
thing
Yeah,
that
because
Cena
he's
did.
like, look, I have to do this. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
want to cheat like this, but I got to.
But it made
That's
sense.
fire.
You
That's
know what's crazy?
fire.
You know what's crazy about that moment?
What's up?
That's how that moment when he said, "I'm sorry," I knew the heel turn was coming after that.
Well, I expect
Immediately.
too, but it's like, how are they going to do it, and are they really going to do it? Because it's like they should do it. Everything's building to it, but are they really going to do it?
Yeah, that was the moment where John chose. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna win the effed up way. Like it wasn't even a regular STF. It was like
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
put him out.
a real choke. You know what
I
I'm saying?
need this W.
It was nice little extra foreshadowing there too. But then in terms of the Roman Reigns thing, as you mentioned it, I think that the triple threat is something that many people predicted months ago, which is fine. But maybe the feud doesn't need Roman Reigns, but putting him in there just creates a lot more questions regarding Paul Heyman and the favor and what's going to end up. Like something's going to happen in this match that's going to change the whole story for the rest of the year, and I just don't know what it is.
What? Okay, at this point, Roman doesn't have no title. Roman doesn't have access to the main event at WrestleMania. What could that favor be for CM Punk? Like, if I was CM Punk, the only favor I need is, bro, get me in the main event of WrestleMania. This is all I need. That's all I want.
I don't know, but that's the thing. We talk about the element of surprise. When you swerve for the sake of swerving, I don't like it. But in this case, I'm probably going to be surprised with whatever they end up doing. Maybe they don't bring up the favor at Mania, which would be a surprise in itself. I don't know what they're going to do with this triple threat. We've already seen Punk beat Rollins. We have seen Seth do all sorts of just interesting stuff. And obviously Roman Reigns didn't lose for like a million years. I don't know where they're going to go with this. And I'm intrigued enough that I'm happy seeing it near the top of the card.
Yeah. They don't need Roman, but it makes sense why Roman is there though. Because like if you look at the levels of just hate, we just said the Seth Rollins and CM Punk thing has been going on forever. The levels of hate on that are crazy high. The levels in between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins hate is insanely high.
Because Roman is still never beat Seth Rollins.
Well, and you mentioned in this very episode, Danny said that when we're talking about the biggest moments in wrestling history, Rollins hitting Reigns with a chair 15 years ago that changed the business.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So it does make sense for Roman to be here. I see why you say they don't need him, and I did agree with you at first. But when I was sitting back listening to y'all talking, Roman do kind of need to be in this match.
The only thing, like, because at the same time, because at first my mind goes to there's no real. At first, my mind goes to there's no real connection between Punk and Roman other than Paul. But we forget CM Punk originally created the Shield. You know what I'm saying? And
he didn't want Roman in it.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was supposed to be Chris Hero.
Exactly. So that leads, but at the same time, it had me thinking while y'all were talking too. What if Punk wasn't in the picture and it was a triple threat match with the Shield in 2025? That would be insane too. And I feel like Punk is playing Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley in this situation. So I'm okay with the match. Don't get me wrong, but the rivalry between Punk and Seth is so good. It's crazy to say that Roman Reigns isn't needed.
It just makes it better. It's a perfect triangle. You got Seth and Rollins, obviously, or sorry, Seth and Reigns. That goes back so long, and then Seth and Punk. They felt comfortable making it the main event of the first Netflix show. That's a big deal. And then I actually think the Paul Heyman part of the triangle is really big as well. And as a fan of Paul Heyman and the fact that CM Punk was the original Heyman guy, and then Heyman going to Reigns, some people have said that's one of the biggest wrestling swerves of the last. I don't necessarily agree, but some people do.
It was a huge moment.
It was a huge moment. It's not on the same level, but it's still a big moment.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's so much between the three of them that it just makes so much sense to make the match as big as possible for WrestleMania. It could be the co-main event, and I wouldn't bat an eye at it. It might actually be, now that I've said that out loud, it probably is. And that's fine. It will fit in that spot.
I'm not mad at that. I had something I was going to ask y'all and just drew a complete blank just now, and that's insane. That's what I was going to say. Seth and Punk, though, I don't want this rivalry to end at this triple threat match. They need a final super violent blow-off match. The same way Hangman and Swerve had their super violent blow-off match.
Yeah, it's not. Because they couldn't get a payoff in a cage match. Like, if you just watch the cage match, it was finisher after finisher, kick out after kick out after kick out. I honestly, even though Seth Rollins climbed to the middle turnbuckle and stomped him, I kind of feel like Punk would have kicked out of that too.
Right.
Like the way Seth won was for Roman to grab him out the cage. It wasn't like he beat CM Punk. Like, we know that's not the payoff. Of course, in the record books it says you won, but that's because of Roman Reigns. That little scenario is not going to be over anytime soon, as well as Roman Reigns and Seth got to settle this too. Like, I think this is just to push this further on down the line. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
One
Go
of
ahead.
the,
I was just gonna say Roman and Rollins. That one needs to end. I think in my head, in like the zeitgeist of wrestling feuds, I'd be fine if CM Punk and Seth Rollins just never ended. If they just continued to feud
yeah,
into their like
I'd
late,
like. I was just thinking
forever.
the same thing. It'd be a situation where like they won't stop fighting. Let me send this motherfucker to SmackDown, like something like that. And they run into each other at pay-per-views and have little altercations and stuff like that to kind of keep it going. Because
Let,
again, that could be a WrestleMania main event in any situation. You know what
agreed.
I mean?
Throwing out to like Canadian football, have you guys ever seen the video of the two old guys fighting with canes and stuff on like the stage? It was a Manitoba and a Saskatchewan, legends. I would love to see that with Seth and CM Punk, where they're at like some sort of legends event, some sort of Hall of Fame thing. They're both getting inducted the same year, and they brawl on the stage, and it turns into a silly mania fight. Like I would love to see Seth and CM fight forever.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I will tell you one
Peter
of
and
the
the chicken type ish.
exactly. But tell you one thing that I do want to see come out of this though. I want to see the return of full on heel Seth Rollins. I really do.
Seth is doing a good job just
He's
staying
been
in that gray area though. Like
I don't like gray area. I don't like that shit, man. That's what Street Profits and Bobby Lashley were doing, and we see where that led them.
Nah, but
It's
Seth
different.
Rollins it's different because Seth Rollins operates on a
because
different level when it
Here's
comes
the
to that
thing.
gray area, bro.
But
like,
the gray area situation we're talking about is just between him and Punk, because nobody. I mean, they're both technically faces. The crowds are chanting CM Punk and singing Seth Rollins' song. So somebody has to play the bad guy role a little bit, and they both been doing it in this right. But I want full on Seth. I don't care about anybody but myself. I want to see him have the matches with the other faces on the card. We've seen him against Gunther. We've seen him against all these people all the time. Whatnot. I want Seth to be a heel facing faces.
You'd have to come up with a list of faces before I would sign off on that.
me too.
I love
Yeah.
gray area Seth because he can literally do anything. He's so reliable.
He's like I keep telling people this. Seth really isn't a face. Like he's just the crowd just loves him. So he's so egotistical that you're my people now. But the stuff that Seth does isn't necessarily face like, and it hasn't been for a while now.
You might have
it's
a
just
point.
It's just Seth is a POS. Let's keep it real. Like that's my guy though, but Seth is a POS, man.
As a face or I could hear a heel Seth saying, "Everybody singing my song." Like,
yo,
that works either way.
He's just egotistic. That's why when you say they need to turn him like heel and that he just needs to be all about himself, I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's kind of who Seth is now. Like that's not. He just doesn't have the opportunities.
He's got that Stone Cold sauce right now where he just does what he wants.
He just does what that's where he's at. He's in the. That's why when you said the Street Profits, I was like, Seth is kind of in a different stratosphere right now. Like,
and he can fit into any story, any match, any worker, and it's going to be good. He's at that level. And I don't want, if he goes too far one way, you're cutting off half of the roster he can work with. That would make sense.
Because even in this triple threat match, Seth is the heel. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, Roman's a face. Yeah. CM Punk is a face. CM Punk is kind of still in that gray area too, to me, in my opinion. But CM Punk is the face. Seth is the one. Seth is the one curb stomping everybody, costing people championship matches and all that. This is Seth. Like,
random question, and y'all can answer this in the chat too. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Do y'all feel like with this Roman CM Punk and Paul Heyman story and whatnot, does it make Seth feel kind of secondary in this situation?
Only in that Roman Reigns and CM Punk are two of the biggest wrestling stars ever, and Seth is like the one level down. And that's not a shot at Seth. It's just he's not among, like, he's a Hall of Famer. He'll be
for sure.
First ballot, whatever, but he's just not like among the absolute greatest of all time. And Roman Reigns has proved that he is, whether you like him or not. And CM Punk is still probably the best promo ever and has had some really interesting matches. So yeah, I think Seth is just the fact that he's Seth Rollins. He's just one level down. So that's why he's not going to but nobody else could fit that role either. It's like
Mm-mm.
like the
Nope.
closest person to be with Roman and CM Punk is Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
but he's still one level down. Nobody else could be close.
Yo, because even though CM Punk is still mainstream. Roman Reigns is mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Seth Rollins is my guy, but he's not necessarily at that type of tier. So yeah, I agree.
Still mad they cut him out of Captain America. I want to know what happened.
That would have been so cool, man. I agree. Oh,
Yeah, let him get his movie screen. Let us get a few minutes of screen time in, man. But well, since we mentioned Street Profits, I mentioned them kind of as a segue anyway. Shout out to the guys. Shout out to the Street Profits. They finally, for one, those heel promos they have been cutting those promos have been incredible. Their social media work has been incredible. Their in-ring work has been incredible. So I'm happy as hell to see this, bro. I'm
what did
happy
they say?
to see
Like
it.
4 years since they were champions, something like that.
Yeah, it's like 4 years or so.
Mhm.
Unreal.
Uh-huh.
They're so good.
They are, man. And Dawkins, my God, Dawkins has like stepped it up 1,000 times full, bro. Like he has been cooking. You know, everybody kind of looked at it as Montez was the Shawn Michaels and Doc was the Marty Jannetty in this situation. But no, at this point now, seeing what Doc does in that ring, I can see him as a solo star. I wouldn't be mad at one day if the Profits did go on as singles wrestlers because they both can get it done in the ring. And now Docs, you see, going crazy with the promos too.
Mhm.
It's less Michaels Janetti and more Michaels Diesel, where I think that both
They're both,
guys
yeah,
have
right.
a serious
That's a great
serious
analogy.
ability. Yeah, I watched that match and kudos as well to DIY. I really liked them as well. I love that they were able to have this as the main event and have it feel like a massive deal. And I loved the match. I loved the finish. I thought all four guys came out looking really good. And earlier in the show, I mentioned that I like how WWE is making me care about tag team wrestling. I loved AEW's tag team division when they first started up. I thought it was the best. And I love that in this Netflix era, Triple H era, I really care about the tag teams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There
Same.
was I remember like not long. It was right before WrestleMania last year, I believe. They dropped this tag team wrestling vignette on SmackDown, and I was like, "Oh shit, we back! Tag team wrestling is back." Because the story was Vince McMahon does not care about tag team wrestling, and it was pretty clear. With you, bro, you let FTR get away. You wanted to dress those guys like clowns. Like, come on, man. It's one of the greatest tag teams in the world. Let's be real about it. So it's clear that he didn't care about tag team wrestling. But when I saw that vignette, it's like, all right, we're back. And we had a great tag match for the main event that night. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but then it just fell right back off again for a while.
Mhm.
And now it's like we're getting it back. And we need that same energy on the Raw side, to be honest with you. Because yeah, SmackDown's tag team division, the way they're fighting, interacting every week backstage, brawling, interfering in each other's matches. I mean, I'm fully expecting like a 8-man tag ladder match or something at WrestleMania this year for the SmackDown titles. I fully
Why?
expect some shit like that, and I'm 100% here for it because again, they've got us invested in these tag belts again. So let's
Now I'm
get it.
disappointed. If they're not going to do that, now I'm upset. Like Motor City
Hey,
Machine Guns, Los
we
Garza, like,
know we
oh
know
my
Triple H
gosh.
watches the show. Just go book it, brother. Just give us credit this time. That's all.
You know what? I don't even need the credit. We don't need the credit. Just put the match on. Give us
Mhm.
the match. Oh, that would be so good.
Oh yeah, and I bet the Profits better leave with those titles still too. Um,
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
do want to see them keep this going. I don't want now that they have the titles that the promos on social media and all that fall off. I want this. I want it to continue because that's what's making it great. It's what's making it feel real. They're posting on in their social media pages like they really have a grudge, like reminding people, bro, we do this. We deserve this. So I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah,
loving it.
credit to them in creative because they did a great job showcasing at least 4 or 5 different tag teams,
Mm-hmm.
creating real rivalries in between them, like real smoke, like no BS. Like everything was tied to the DIY situation in the Street Profits. Every tag team, Angel Garza, Pretty
Mm-hmm.
Deadly. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
everything, Motor City, like everything was tied to that. So they did an amazing job.
Oh yeah. Now I didn't personally see this myself when I watched SmackDown. I was kind of watching it I was watching it like 3 o'clock in the morning after I finished DJing the other night, and I fell asleep. But I saw a clip. Big shout out to Dirt Sheet Radio. Big shout to Nick, Johnny Dirt Sheet, and everybody, and all your contributions. But these teasers, I'm trying to get the picture right now. That's why I'm kind of stalling a little bit. But here we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see. I get you.
These teasers, right? I'm ready. My spirit is ready. I can't wait. They're teasing Ray Phoenix already and Aleister Black. Those are about, especially Ray Phoenix. We saw the impact Penta had when he debuted, and it still has currently. Why they had him on main event the other week instead of Raw, I can't answer that, to be honest with you. But him and my man, was it Joaquin Wilde from LWO, I think he had a match with? Cooked. Absolutely cooked. Deserved to be on Raw, I feel like. But do y'all think Ray Phoenix is going to have the same impact as Penta did when he debuted?
I think he can if they allow him to do what he is known for doing. That being said, there have been times where he has taken some big risks and has suffered some bad injuries from it. And I do think that WWE is more concerned about that stuff than the competition is. So I could see them trying to get him to bring it down a bit, tone it down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if they allow him to at least do some of the stuff that makes him one of, if not the best high flyer in the world right now, I think he will have a tremendous impact.
Now, let me ask you this. Do y'all think it's smart? Because Penta's obviously on Raw. They're showing Phoenix vignettes on SmackDown. Do y'all think it's smart to separate them, or should they put them in the tag team division and turn up Raw's tag team division?
No.
I like the idea of singles right now. I didn't initially. I didn't think that Phoenix could do it, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? The WWE universe doesn't really know that they are brothers, and they still can interact. It's just they want to do their own thing for a while, and you can always go back to the tag team if the singles isn't working.
I don't want any more LWOs, bro. Like,
bro,
there's two versions. I don't care.
Yeah,
there's two versions of them. Like, it will start getting repetitive. We're having them to get like, yo, separate them, let them do their own thing, bro. Like,
that's not the situation here. That's like saying there's too many black tag teams. We got to get rid of Idris and Nafe.
Hey, don't paint me in that box. That's not what you get. What I'm trying to say.
I really don't. What I'm saying is,
here's what I'm trying to say. It's not like I'm against Latin empowerment or anything like that. Yeah, if that's what they're trying to do and that's their vision, they put them in a tag team. But let's not forget that the WWE is going through criticism about them putting Latinos all together every single time.
I mean, I get that. I get what you're saying, that's but they're actual brothers. Like, they're a tag team. Like, they've throughout every wrestling organization they've been in, they've been a tag team.
So why not try something different, though?
Right. Like,
I'm saying I'm not against it by any means, but them being attacked, they're like one of the best tag teams in the world at that. That could be the catalyst to turn that Raw tag team division up.
You also have to have somebody to work with. And at least as single stars, they will have a lot of people to work with. I think Malik is right to be concerned, though. WWE, as much as they have improved over the last, however many years, there are still major issues that they have, and one of them is with African-American wrestlers and Latino wrestlers. I would love the opportunity to see them show that Penta and Phoenix can do some stuff together, and separately, but eventually bring them together in, I don't know, maybe some sort of a feud for some sort of major title or something down the road. I don't know.
Another reason why I don't want them in a tag team, and I think they should be better off as singles competitors, is because I don't really see anybody really too much in the tag team division that could keep up with them tag team wise. Like, we got to remember how they wrestle too.
Hold on now. You got to stop sleep. Y'all forget what New Day is capable of, clearly. New Day has had some incredible tag matches.
I'm talking about speed, like how they wrestle though, like Axiom Frazier type. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a slight to the rest of the division. It's just that you're right. They're one of the greatest tag teams in the world. But I
Right.
remember where they just came from too. I don't really see. That's why I give AEW credit though. Like I hear what y'all saying on the tag team division. I still like AEW's tag team wrestling better than I like WWE's because I feel like tag team wrestling needs to be like that.
I agree.
That's just my personal preference.
Is New Day going to put over the Lucha Brothers if that's what they decided to do? Because
I
I'm
can
looking
see
at
it.
the rest of the roster here, trying to find other tag teams that I would be interested
Because
in. So
that
the
would be
Creed
a good. I
Brothers,
mean, it would be a good match. It'd be a good back and forth. Everybody wants to see the face win, obviously. You know what I mean. So it'll be good to see them go over them.
But the issue with that is they're beefing with the LWO right now. I'm seeing it again. Like it'll be the
Touche.
same
But
insults.
it doesn't have to just be the New Day though.
I
I
hear
mean,
you.
look at we got. Honestly, I think Lucha Bros versus Viking War Raiders could be a fire match. The War Raiders do some incredible
That's true.
shit in that ring.
that would
No, I
be
give you that.
that's a very good match.
JD McDonough and Finn Balor versus Lucha Brothers.
I
You
think
know
they
what
about
I'm
to
saying?
split soon. But
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
JD still with Finn. JD is Finn's boy. I could see them two leaving Finn Judgment Day together. You don't forget JD's out with an
Yeah.
injury. He hadn't had no say so in any of this crazy stuff going on with them right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you're saying. It's not a bad thing. It's just because you know why I kind of believe in Penta being a single star right now. Like I don't want to mess with that. Like I know that's your brother, but Penta is cooking right now.
He
Let's
really
not.
He
You know what I
really is.
mean?
I can't hold you.
I also want to see Phoenix get a simple shot like that as well, because I think
Me
he can
too.
do some really cool things.
Yep, me too.
What do y'all see next for Penta?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's too. This WrestleMania thing is making it hard for me to envision something for him too much right now.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who is Penta we talking about here? One of the biggest debuts. He's doing his thing. Incredible matches every time out. What do we have for him at WrestleMania? What match do you put him in at WrestleMania?
Braun Breaker, maybe.
Are you going to have him win?
I'm gonna be real, man.
Don't tell me you don't like Braun Breaker, bro.
I still want that
love
Braun
Braun
Breaker Logan Paul match. Again, we just talked about how Triple H is a genius with the marketing and a genius way to make money, bring money in. Braun Breaker versus Logan Paul for the Intercontinental Championship with I Show Speed and Kai Cenat ringside. Speed obviously got a reason to be there. You know what I'm saying? Kai Cenat is just the biggest streamer in the world. That's going to bring in views anyway. We saw 300 million views in 24 hours for that spear. You know what I mean? Imagine Logan Paul winning those streaming numbers with the help of I Show Speed and Kai Cenat.
The only thing is we just went through a title reign with Logan Paul. I don't want to do that again. He did nothing for the United States Championship, in my opinion. He's a great wrestler.
I wouldn't be mad if he lost it the next night. Don't get me wrong now.
Also, I think Logan Paul. I had to look and see because I'm pretty sure that they're going the Logan Paul AJ Styles route. So I think that's spoken for.
I forgot about Styles. Yeah,
right.
I think that'll be a better match for him.
But one thing, and my first thought was because I want Chad Gable to get something as well. So I don't.
Shit. Well, it could just be Chad then.
Yeah, but would that be? I mean, we talk about the Jade Cargill having a spot on Mania. This is certainly below that. But Penta, gosh, somebody is saying Penta Ray Phoenix 1-on-1. That's interesting. I don't know how you do it, but I would be interesting.
I forgot about Chad Gable is going on a quest to learn lucha and whatnot. So I could see Gable and Penta at WrestleMania. Maybe an opening match or something like that. But it could be fire. It will be.
Gracias.
Wildin'.
Yeah, there's something there. I think it would be a mistake to leave Penta Phoenix off of the card altogether. Unless you're going to have Phoenix debut at the show, or no, I think you have to have him debut at the show.
Let me
minimum.
So we're talking about because we skipped over to Penta from Phoenix, but the other teaser we got, Aleister Black.
What is the 4?
I think it was a countdown. It was a 5 last week apparently.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
So, where do you put Aleister Black right now with the current landscape of WWE? With him coming back, where do you put him? What is he doing?
Hopefully
I'm out.
more than what's his face did when he returned at the Rumble from AEW. Charlotte's ex
Oh,
husband
Andrade.
Andrade.
Andrade. Hopefully more than that.
Yeah, yeah.
I am concerned that Aleister Black comes back and does nothing. He's too good for that.
This is what I would do. It's not going to happen, obviously, because they're showing these teasers on SmackDown. But I would like to have him involved with Karrion Kross.
How so?
If you notice, they call it the Karrion Kross effect online. If you notice, everybody that Karrion Kross has interacted with has became a heel.
Yeah.
Everybody. Shinsuke to literally everybody. AJ at one time, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say he Karrion Kross used the term "the devil made me do it" or something like that one time before. Let Aleister Black be the devil. Let him be he's been like his evil energy, whatever you want to call it, is what's been causing all this shit with Karrion Kross and whatnot. The New Day just turned heel after interacting with Karrion Kross. You know what I mean? The New Day's been good guys, damn near not as long as Cena, but over a decade. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would put him with Karrion Kross personally. That would make sense to me.
As
I,
Aleister Black as like the higher power kind of thing.
Yeah,
I like it. Danny,
I
you know how I feel about Aleister Black and what I think
one of
his
the
role should
goats.
WWE should be. I think Aleister Black should take on like the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker role when he comes back to WWE.
if he
Like
can
I
get
dead ass
Karrion,
feel that.
yeah, if you can get Karrion Kross to be a bigger star, I'm down. I love Karrion Kross, and I want to see him
I
do
agree,
cooler things.
bro. He's so good in ring. He's so good on the microphone. His storytelling is incredible. That Vince McMahon ruined him, bro. Like it was bad. It was bad. Because when he got let go and he came back, he still hadn't been the same. I thought it was going to be okay. Here we go. They had him interfering with Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns and all them, like putting them in the main event picture, and then it just fell all the way off again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm down.
But so yeah, I think a return of Aleister Black could turn Karrion Kross up. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do with it. But it's not going to happen clearly again because Aleister Black is going to be on SmackDown to look like. So what the hell is he going to do on SmackDown?
Things can carry over show to show.
Yep.
I
Who
mean,
knows what they do with him, right?
anything can happen at this point.
I know you're watching Triple H. Book it, brother.
I like it.
Next, I do want to talk about this real quick because it low-key pissed me off. Before we get to AEW Revolution and talking about Revolution and whatnot, this pissed me off so bad. It just annoyed me. Maybe y'all can call it great heel work because it did make people upset, but I'm good, bro. I'm good.
I don't like it either. Like we know what. Come on, we know Tessa's history, so this is like I respect it because if you just go and be a piece of shit,
lean into it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's my point with it. Like it's like that's why it's like kind of like I see you. It doesn't make me like it makes me legitimately like not like you though. Like you know what I'm saying? But
does it make you? Do you want to see her get beat up by somebody in the ring, or do you just turn your TV off? Because that's where I am. I loved what TNA was doing, and now it's like I see Tessa Blanchard on there, and I'm like, well, don't really want to see this. So I don't really care what she does, good heel work or what. I don't care. It's bad enough that one of the most professional guys in the business, an agent for the company, Lance Storm, comes out and says, "Yeah, I wish she had apologized, but like I don't think that one mistake or things that you did when you were younger should stay with you your whole life." Like even he's coming out and being like, "Yeah, she probably should apologize so that she can move on," instead of doubling down saying, "I don't regret anything because it got me to where I am today." I don't know. It's the heat that makes me not want to watch the show.
Yeah, it makes
like
sense.
that's like essentially proud racism. Like is proud being a proud racist,
Well,
and that's kind of crazy to me.
I mean, she's stating that that's not who she is, but like if you insinuated something or a perception is something, just come out and say, like, I
Right.
apologize for whatever I may have done that put this out there. I promise I am not a racist person. I do not think this way.
Like
And I look
even
forward for the opportunity to prove that that's who I am. I know actions speak
even we
louder than
wouldn't
words, but
believe it. We wouldn't believe it, but
right.
still,
But at
Hogan
least
did it.
it's the
We didn't believe
start.
it either.
But
You
it's
know
the
what I mean?
start, right? If you come out and say it and make the point of saying, hey, I regret anything I may have done that leads you, the person watching this, to view me in a certain way, I look forward to the chance to prove to you that that's not who I am, so that they
But
can prove it.
my thing is okay, her not apologizing and leaning into it and all that, and crowds chanting she's a racist. You know, Chelsea Green went on to say what did Chelsea say? Her exact words, she's a racist bully, is what she said about Tessa
Right.
Blanchard. So the internet, half the world is calling you a racist, so you're gonna come out with with this gimmick? Like,
Stupid.
that's terrible. That's a
It's
terrible
just
decision.
stupid.
It's an awful decision, man.
And
Not a
people
fan.
watching though, I don't like it either. Like I said, but I gotta
I
respect you. I gotta respect what you're doing. You being yourself, like, because if you really felt like it wasn't that way, you kind of would shy away from that.
If people are watching this and are entertained by it and ratings are up and it's doing good business, great.
You know,
It's not for me.
it's not for me
But
either, right?
but if it's
Right.
working for them, okay,
But
all the
Right.
power in the
that
world to
that
you.
I mean, I can't go for that, bro, because it's like, let me use this. Let us use her racism to our advantage. I don't like that.
Unless, like, again, she's saying that's not who she is, and the company seemingly is okay with doing this story because they must believe that that's not who she is.
But that's like
But
WWE saying, let's run a Vince storyline with somebody, with one of the accusers or some
That
shit like that.
that was gonna be my point. The only reason why I'm okay with it is because I don't want to be hypocritical for the shit that Vince McMahon used to do and I used to think was okay.
Right.
So that's why I'm sitting back like I
but in
don't like it.
2025, do you think it's okay? What went on like 20 years ago, 25 years ago?
I get it's a different climate now. I do
Much
understand
different
that.
climate.
It's a much different climate now, but she's getting away with it. And I'm gonna be real with you. It's not a political thing, but it kind of seems like we're going back to that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it kind of seems like content is starting to get a little bit edgier now.
You can be
It's starting to get back to how it used to
Bro.
be. It may not fully be that way, but it's starting to turn backwards. It's not as positive as it used to be.
Yeah,
So
but
that's why
racism isn't a fun topic.
no,
that's
it's not.
that's
It's not at
that's not
all. Like
necessarily must see TV for me.
agreed.
yeah, I am not saying that I agree with it.
I like
But
next week she's gonna come out pop locking and breakdancing and shit, and
Oh
I'm
god.
like, come on, bro.
Like, you know, I'm 9 to 12 years old. I find some of this stuff funny. You grow up and you're like, oh, you know what? I really didn't like that. Like people can grow and say, you know what? Hey, this isn't me anymore, or this wasn't me, and it was just, you know, portrayed poorly. But yeah, if you're gonna lean into it, it's an interesting decision.
yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
That's the most positive way I can put it. I won't be watching. Hopefully, those of you who are enjoying it, because I can't get on board with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
I'm good, gang. Real quick, because I completely forgot about this too. We're gonna just talk about a quick second. It deserves more than a quick second, but NXT Roadblock was probably one of the best NXT regular televised events. There wasn't a PLE. Event was crazy. Obafemi and Moose was a great match. Javon Evans and Ethan Page, hardcore match or street fight match was insane. Madison Square Garden was on fire for the whole show. Julia Stephanie Vaquer was an incredible match. I finally got to go back and watch that. I didn't know Julia was injured. I didn't know that's why she ended up dropping the title. Because at first I was weirded out by it, like that. You see that meme with a guy walking with his girlfriend, he's turning around looking at the other girl.
Yep.
That's what it felt like NXT was with Stephanie Vaquer. It's like they had Julia, they made a big deal out of her, and it's like, oh, everybody likes Stephanie more. Let's put all the focus on her now. I didn't like that a lot for Julia, but yeah, I didn't know she was injured. But still put on an incredible match. She did her MFing thing. The tag match, the opening tag match, the Hardys and Fraxium. Fraxium don't miss. It don't matter who they're in the ring with, they don't miss, bro. Like I would not be mad at a call up. Maybe they could be the catalyst to turn the Raw Tag Team division back up. Who knows? But yeah, they don't miss.
I would love
Oh,
to see them work with the Lucha Brothers. Also, Jordan Grace and Roxanne Perez on that card as well. Like
yes,
it was stacked
yes,
from top to bottom, and I loved the fans online that were roasting Dave Meltzer and saying, "Hey, that Alba Femi Moose match was better than 4 stars." Like I love that people were so just happy with this event top to bottom. Like just
yeah.
fantastic.
I agree. I just thought about this too since I mentioned it. Axiom versus Gunther on SmackDown. That was special. I like
Good
the
storytelling.
Gunther is having these incredible matches every time he goes overseas with these like random people that he's not in these stories with and whatnot, and I love it. Eh, Man, shout out to Fraxium though. Like I said, anytime they step in that ring, they felt like one of those thrown together tag teams to me, so I wasn't feeling it at first, but yeah, they did that number. Shout out Fraxium. Um, yeah, AEW Revolution. I have not had the chance to watch Revolution yet. If y'all know me, I have been on go. I had a lot going on, 1,000,010 things. Um, the event I was so putting all my time into happened last night, so I got some of my free time back now, so I'll be able to turn up like I was before. Um,
On the plus side, you don't have to watch everything. You just have to watch 7 matches and the end of an eighth.
7 out of 23. Like you,
I'm just talking main cards. We're talking
yeah.
7.5 out of 9. You can skip the tag team match.
No,
Uh,
I'm gonna watch it top to bottom for sure. I'm gonna watch it
yeah,
probably later on tonight. But I what I've heard out of it is the shining moment of the event was Tony Storm versus Mariah May.
Amazing match.
yeah.
I heard these women tore the house all the way down, and yeah, I have to go watch that 110%.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Now,
Yeah.
I saw people complaining that the match was too short. Did y'all feel like that?
No. I'm just looking up. It went 12. Okay, so it went 12 minutes and 55 seconds. I wouldn't have expected them to go as long as the following 3 matches did with what they were doing.
Mhm.
I mean, Omega and Takeshita went 28 minutes. Osprey Fletcher went 29, and then the Gong Show main event went 26 and a half. So yeah, okay, maybe 12, 13 minutes is not long enough, but they did so much in that 13 minutes, it just
Mhm.
flew by, and I thought it was arguably the best match of the night. Like it's probably top 1 or top 2 for me, and
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know if it would have done that had they gone twice as long.
And plus the things that they were doing to each other, you can't.
I gotta go watch this damn match,
You
man. Because
can't.
golly,
Yo, you 20 minutes of that is a lot. Like
but
those are those high hatred, high
exactly,
spot
that's what I was
type
about to say.
hardcore type matches. Like you don't want too much of that.
That's what I was
Like
gonna say. Because again, that was their third match in the series, so it's like same thing, a blood feud, like the Swerve and Hangman again. So
mhm,
that's how I would expect it to end, like ultra violent,
mhm.
and especially in AEW, like you already
Yep.
know. But how do y'all feel about them saying that that match should have been the main event, but wasn't?
I, I still don't know how they would have ended the show with the end because maybe I don't even know if this is old school thinking, but I kind of want my show to end on a way that it's like, oh, I'm excited to see what happens next, and that's kind of like just closing it out. The
Mhm.
way they did end it, main event, the actual match itself,
Hmm.
I get it. I get why people didn't love that, but I loved seeing Swerve Strickland on top at the end of the
Yeah.
big event.
Mhm.
That was the difference for me. If I'm wanting Swerve Strickland to be the man, he was the last thing I saw on that match after a gong show with a lot of people making an appearance. And it was
Mhm.
reported supposed to be even more people. So that had to be the main event. But the actual final thing you see is Swerve Strickland, the #1 contender for the world championship, standing tall.
So, so now we got Swerve versus Mox coming up, right?
Yep.
Do you guys see Swerve getting that title back?
Eventually. I don't know if it happens right now, but I want him. Same thing with Drew McIntyre. I want Swerve near the. When Swerve Strickland first signed with AEW, I did not care. I thought,
Yeah,
cool. I hope people who really like this guy are happy. I could not care about Swerve Strickland. Over time, he became one of my favorite wrestlers in the
easily.
world. And him and Prince Nana have this special bond. I'm so glad they're not ending it. And hopefully it's not a Swerve pun unintended there to then break him up later and have it be the reason he doesn't win the title or any crap like that. I don't want to see that. But yeah, Swerve Strickland at the top of the card as much as humanly possible, whether he's the champion or not. But
He is that good. And like you
yeah,
said, when he first signed with AEW, well, I really enjoyed Isaiah Swerve Scott in NXT. They didn't do anything with him when he brought him to the main roster with Hit Row and whatnot. And so yeah, he kind of cooled down a lot for me because I used to swear, even on the indie scene, he was going crazy before he signed to WWE.
true.
But when he went to AEW, it's like, okay, maybe they'll do something with him. But I wasn't, oh shit, you know what I mean? But over time, my God, man. And I think it picked up for me when he was teaming with Keith Lee.
Yeah, the Kobe Shaq story. That was so cool.
The what now?
The Kobe Shaq story, where you've got like they're not really getting together, they're not getting along together, but when you put them together, they're champions. It's similar to like the Lakers
Okay,
of
yeah.
the early 2000s, where you've
That's a
got
great comparison. Hell
It
yeah.
is. Okay,
Yeah.
that is great. I get
and
it now.
it's something that like Keith Lee as well. I hope that when he comes back, he's healthy, good to go, and everything because he's a great talent too, and I love watching him. But yeah, Swerve Strickland over time just grew and grew and grew and grew to a point where it's just like, yeah, he says he wants to be the first African American world champion, and it was like, yeah, everybody instantly online. I was seeing so many comments of like, yeah, I want to see that. That makes perfect sense. And he just continued riding this roller coaster to where I didn't want to see him lose to Bryan Danielson at the biggest show of the year.
Hmm.
I never thought I would be in a world where I'm rooting against Bryan Danielson, against somebody I couldn't
Get it.
have cared for when he first even joined the promotion. I wanted
Right.
Swerve to win that match so badly because in my mind he earned it.
Shout out to Swerve. He, like I said, he really made himself a superstar, bro. And it's
Absolutely.
incredible. Now we saw Swerve versus Ricochet on
Love
that
that.
event too. Again,
Love it.
I have to go back and watch it for myself. But let me ask y'all this real quick. Do y'all think or do y'all ever see Ricochet having that same type of rise and impact like Swerve did?
No, because if you do, it's not going to happen. No, I don't think anybody could have seen Swerve's meteoric rise
Well,
the
yeah,
way
you're
it
right.
happened.
You're right
I
about
think
that.
Ricochet could very well become one of the top guys in AEW. But I'll say this: Ricochet's selling in that match for Swerve was so bloody good,
I gotta watch
and
this. I gotta
not to
watch
a point where I want to see him lose constantly, like the Dolph Ziggler effect or whatever.
it.
But I do want to see Ricochet in a lot of heavy matches because he is just so good. Both of them put on an absolute clinic. It was so much fun. I don't. It's not in my top 3 matches of the card, but that's just how good the card was. The card was
Damn,
so good,
it's
so
like
good.
that.
It's like that for me. I'm actually I need to go back and look and see, but like Tony Storm, Mariah May, Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita,
Oh,
Will Ospreay,
I
Kyle
forgot they had
Fletcher.
a match.
Yeah, those 3 matches back to back to back. I can't remember the last time I saw 3 matches that good back to back to back. And
Oh man,
I just went and looked it up. Dave Meltzer gave those 3 matches back to back to back 5 stars each for each
that's
of them,
crazy.
and that's interesting to me. I like Meltzer's not the be all end all,
Right.
but we do seem to like a lot of the same matches and the same style. So to have those 3 5-star matches plus the 4 3/4 of Swerve and Ricochet and 4.5 of Adam Page MJF, that was a fun match for me too.
I forgot about
And
that match too.
there's so much. You may not want to watch it tonight because you're going to be so tired from all the work you got to do later. You might want to just take a day off and say, you know what, I'm going to watch
Man, I might have to
everything.
do that soon for sure.
Yeah, because the pay-per-view was fire. Like the MJF and Hangman match was great. The tombstone on the chair, they call it a pile driver. But
Yeah.
yo, yeah,
That's wild.
you got to watch the card, bro. The card is fire. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
Say less. Say less. What other standout moments do y'all remember from Revolution?
I still love the Outrunners. Like I told you, you didn't have to watch that match, the Hurt Syndicate and the Outrunners. I actually thought they gave uh, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd more than I would have expected them. I thought they would just get squashed and it would be over. Like the match didn't get like it didn't go 10 minutes, but it didn't need to be for what it was. I love this Hurt Syndicate, and I'm interested to see who else eventually does come in to be a part of it because I think it could bring some people up. Another major thing I want to say, just because it's getting lost in the shuffle,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it should be, Brody King deserves to be featured more. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that he got a featured match with Kazuchika Okada because I
Mhm.
liked the match a lot. It wasn't like your typical 5-star banger, but damn, was it fun
Brody
and
King
very
is a
enjoyable.
star, bro.
He
Brody
should
King
be.
is a superstar. He
He should
like
be.
looking at Brody King. I get don't take my head off or anything, but I get Bray Wyatt vibes when I see Brody King. Just like a much more his in ring, in my opinion, was better than Bray's, but the character itself gives me Bray Wyatt vibes. The look, should I say, not the character, the look.
I can see that where Brody King just has something about him that has yet to be unlocked. And now that he's not saddled as the sidekick in a trio, I think there is a good chance he can get even bigger. I liked that he was in the C2. I
Hmm.
liked seeing him face the best that the promotion had to offer, and he never felt out of place, which I thought
Mhm.
he would. So, yeah, I think Brody King is a star. I do think there is a lot more potential for him to go even further. He wasn't going to beat Okada here, but a year from now, I would love to see something like that happen if they can build him up the right way, where
Hmm.
Brody King does come out of nowhere and just becomes this super beast. I think it'd be fun. I think it could work. He could be like a Takeshita, where,
Hmm.
oh, yeah, hey, that guy's really good. And then he gets the international championship and gets to have a featured match with Kenny Omega and stuff like that. I could see Brody King in that spot eventually or in a spot similar to that.
I get it. I get it. But yeah, happy to. I definitely want to see more of him featured on TV for sure. He's got that it factor in my opinion. When you see him come out, you're like, it's about to be a banger type shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Really,
Um,
the only thing in the match or in the whole card that fell flat for me was just the actual main event itself and how they did certain things. But again, I understand why they had to do it that way. The Death Riders story isn't clicking with me anymore as much as it was. I was one of the people that defending it a little bit at the beginning, but now I'm kind of they're wrapping it up, so whatever. But I would like to see it wrapped up sooner than later and figuring something else out.
yeah, I agree with that. It did not have the when Mox first came out on that. I'm taking control of AEW. Shit needs to change around here. That whole I was invested. I was like, okay,
Same.
here we go. Now it's about to, they're about to do some stuff over here now. And it fell so flat. Like, why is he carrying around the title in a briefcase so nobody can see it? Like, is there a story behind that?
I don't know. I do like that Tony Storm called it out though in the promo afterward, where she talks about this is the world championship. The other one's in a briefcase. Love it.
That's
Mhm.
dope. Tony
So good.
Storm is amazing.
Yeah.
But but yeah, yeah, that Death Rider story, it is time for it to come to an end, I feel like. And like you said, I did hear that like it looks like it's about to go ahead and come to an end now. Where do they go? Like where does Wheeler Yuta go? Where does Cesaro, Claudio go? What happens with Mox? Does he lose the championship? What are we doing?
I mean, I think he has to. He has to lose the title. I don't know what they do with Claudio and Wheeler. I do hope that they don't get lost in the shuffle. I think there's a very scary possibility that Wheeler Yuta does kind of sort of disappear. I don't want that. I do think Shafir as well. I don't want to see her disappear. I think she gets some undue hate. I just want a better story. I think the story did not do what they wanted it to do, and maybe they can do something better in the undercard. I don't know what that would be, though. I don't know.
Where's Daniel Garcia? Didn't he just win the TNT championship? And where the hell has he been at?
So he was in the pre-show. He teamed up with the Undisputed Kingdom, so Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly, and they beat Shane Taylor Promotions, which was Shane Taylor, Carly Bravo, and Sean Dean of the
It's a
Infantry
random
and
match,
Lee
though.
Moriarty. But it was good because Adam Cole is about to land the Panama Sunrise. Garcia tags himself in, goes and puts on his submission, the Dragon Tamer?
Slick.
Dragon Tamer?
I think yeah. Something
But
like that.
he's staring at the Kingdom while he's doing it, and then as
Mm.
one of the guys comes in to break it up, Adam Cole does the right thing, super kicks him, still looks at Garcia. There's clearly going to be a one-on-one match for the TNT title, and
I'm
it's
okay
going to
with
be
that.
good.
I'm here for
However, I don't like that Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are coming out to Adam Cole's music because it makes them feel very much less than, and I don't like that.
that. Yeah, like
Super
lackeys.
minor point, but I liked that match. It just couldn't be on
Henchman
the
1 and
main card.
Henchman 2.
Yeah, I don't like. They're too good to be henchmen, both
Yeah.
of them.
They kind of proved themselves in Adam Cole's absence too.
Oh, yeah,
like
definitely.
they definitely deserve more
Especially
than that.
Roddy.
For real.
100%. Well, even Kyle O'Reilly before he got injured, like he wins Battle Royal, does a phenomenal job. Like he has phenomenal matches too.
Mhm.
All three of those guys are too good to be just saddled as Adam Cole and the other guys.
Adam Cole and the Colettes.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, and I didn't like it. Like Mark
Yeah,
Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Big Boom AJ, they get different entrances. Why the heck couldn't Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly get entrances?
that's
Come
a good
on.
point.
Come on.
That's a good point. I'm really here for Adam Cole, Daniel Garcia though. That's gonna
Agreed.
cook. That's definitely gonna cook. We were there when Daniel Garcia won his TNT championship, weren't we? That was
Yes, we
Full
were.
Gear, right?
I think so. Was it?
I think so.
Oh, one other thing really quickly on the pre-show.
Uh,
Also watch Commander Hologram and Lee Johnson, Blake Christian.
I heard that match
Underrated
good.
opener. Yeah, underrated opener for sure. And the main event of Big Boom, AJ, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Johnny TV and MXM Collection. Fun, but don't expect anything else.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It's okay. It's fine.
I wasn't.
It's fine.
Just being real. Shout out to MXM though. I met them in Tampa last year.
So cool.
Cool as hell.
Them and Johnny TV. I like them as a trio, but this other stuff, whatever. I get it.
They should bring over Max Dupree. but nah, that's pretty much all I got for the show today, guys. Y'all got anything else y'all want to say? Anything else y'all want to talk about? All right. Well,
No.
first and foremost, make sure y'all, if y'all haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube page and all that at 3NT Wrestling, at Dirt Sheet Radio. On YouTube, same thing, or Instagram at 3NT Wrestling, at Official Dirt Sheet Radio. Follow me while you're at it at the Danny Ocean Show. If you are looking for me this Saturday coming up, I'll be in Raleigh or Morrisville, North Carolina, for some battle rap stuff. Big shout to Hunger Games, shout out to J Rome and None. A lot of dope battles on that card.
I think you posted the card on your Twitter, right? Because I went looking and I couldn't believe how many.
It's some dope. It's a lot of battles on that card too. And it's
Unreal.
good for North Carolina too. The names that are on that card. So shout out to Hunger Games again. I'll be in Vegas the week of Mania. I need y'all to do me a favor. Cross your fingers. Just do like that for me real quick. Cross your fingers. Should get word back tomorrow from WWE if I got media credentials for WrestleMania. So I will let y'all know for sure. I might have an emergency show. Might have an emergency podcast tomorrow if I get that email. But
Hunter, we know you're watching. If you do not get this man media rights, come on. We just gave you how many booking ideas and even said you didn't have to credit us. Give this guy his media credentials.
We made Mania season lit this year.
Yeah.
With our ideas. But hopefully we'll see what happens though. But I will be at Fourth Rope out there. I'll be at Wale Mania. I will be at the Ashe Wrestling event. I'm going to be all up and down Vegas that whole week. I'll also be in Houston from April 11th to April 14th, right before I go to Vegas for Apollo, one of the biggest battle rap events in the freaking world, man, in the history of battle rap. It's going to be crazy. I'm all over the place, man, but make sure y'all tap in with me at The Danny Ocean Show, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I use TikTok now, too, so tap in. Guys, where can they find you at? What you got going on?
You go first, Malik. You're the man.
No. You go ahead. They know
All
where
right.
to find me at.
They know where to find you. You know what? Hopefully you'll find me on another one of these podcasts in the not too distant future, because this was a blast. 95 minutes flew by. Appreciate you guys bringing me on. And if I was allowed to have
Yes,
one
sir.
last word, I would say I haven't been able to hear wrestlers say, we've got the best fans in the world, because a lot of fans right now are too tribalist. And stop it. Everything is good. If you go back 25 years, 20 years, you'd be begging for what we have today. So let's be appreciative of the fantastic professional wrestling we have, not just at the top with WWE and AEW, but there's a lot of other good stuff out there as well. And if you ever want to know, send us a message on Dirt Sheet Radio and we'll absolutely hook you up.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Malik, talk to the peoples.
You already know, man. I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose my voice. I struggle through the pod. Matthew Malik Wilson, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure it is baseball season 2. Make sure you support the bros at MLBbro.com. They made some major moves, making deals with MLB Network. They're getting their own podcast. It's big lit, so make sure you come and support.
Most definitely. Guys, it's 316 day. It's 316 day.
Oh, right.
It's only right.
That
That was dumb as fuck. Why did I do that?
I'm just. At least you're choking on good drink. I'm choking on water.
I just poured beer all in my 3NT Wrestling. Hit that subscribe button. We out.
Whew.
Oh my god.